I read where your mom had passed, and it was a very dark time for you. Seemingly, you went through some depression. So, what was that time? So, how did you deal with what you was going through? Because I'm assuming you're very close to your mom,
Yeah.
and then to the shift to like, okay, I know my mom would want me to do what?
Yeah, so when my mama was sick, it was a tough time, because me and my husband, we were still very much so newly married.
Right.
We've been together for years,
Right.
but we were new in Los Angeles.
Right.
So I was going back and forth to North Carolina to help take care of her.
Okay.
So just that time, and to know that it was a terminal disease.
Right.
My mama died young; she was 51.
Wow.
And so those 3 years were hard in itself.
Right.
But I feel like it was the time that changed me the most. But in the best way. When you see somebody who is amazing.
Right.
My mama was a light, and she was a master at giving grace, and she loved people, and she never complained. So I saw my mama go from being this amazing woman. She was a social worker. She was a pastor who wore heels every day and was, out all the time, to the point where she was trapped inside her body and could not move because she had ALS.
Oh man.
And never one time did she complain. And I remember talking to her, and I remember asking her, Mama, if you could go back and change and not be sick, would you change it? And she said no. And I said, you wouldn't go back and change not getting sick? She said, no, that means God has trusted me with this journey. He knows I can handle it. And that stuck with me, right? It stuck with me. And then just to see her go through it so gracefully and always have a smile on her face, I always took that and was like, I gotta do something with my life,
Right.
So when she passed away, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take any job I can that's, in acting. And I did a lot for like 2 years, stuff that nobody need to really see. I was like, I booked it. Okay, I'm gonna do this movie. That's when the straight to DVD. Was
straight. Yeah.
Blockbuster
Right.
and all that.
Yeah.
I had like 5 movies in like 1 year. All went to like DVDs and
But it was.
But I mean, it was great. I mean, of course, I joke about it, but I'm glad for every role I took back then.
Right.
Because it just validated that I was living in a dream that I had.
Right.
And also that my mama told me that this day would come. But
Right.
back then, I thought that was the day she was talking about.
I hear you talk about your mom, when you ask her if she could go back and change anything, even with the debilitating disease of ALS, she said she wouldn't change a thing. Is that what allowed you to stay so positive? Because you saw the journey that your mom was on, and no matter what you was going through, ain't no way it's even comparable to what she's going through.
Listen, it plays a large role in my everyday life. Even like right now, things I'm going through, I'd be like, man, I hate that I'm going through this, but it's nothing compared to that.
Right. You know what to do. Hit the subscribe button and become an official member of Club Shay Shay, where we do something before two something.